Hello and welcome to Hobby Homies. We are your weekly tabletop podcast. I'm Shane, as always, hanging out via the interwebs with Fox.
Hey, what's up?
Yep, we're still online. Still no video present. Something we want to work on, but alas, lockdown.
Yeah, stinky
Today,
old, smelly old lockdown.
Oh, it's the worst. Can't think of anything worse than lockdown.
There's nothing worse than lockdown. In the history of the existence of the world, there's been nothing worse than being mildly inconvenienced in our day-to-day routines. I don't like it. I'm out.
Yeah. I feel you. Today, this is one that lockdown really fucked us over with. We are going on our second journey, our second episode of our journey into WARSURGE. We were hoping by this point we would have maybe repped a couple of games and gotten familiar with the rules, but no, we have not. We've built lists though and read rules, but that's about all.
That's not bad. So on these journey intos, we like to slowly explore our individual journeys into, surprisingly, a particular game. So, we'll chronicle our discovery, playing games or reading through the rules, painting minis, whatever it be. Whatever stage we're at with it, you'll come along the journey with us. And I guess, it's no more true. Like, we're in lockdown. We haven't been able to play it. There hasn't been a bunch of episodes on it. That's part of the journey, unfortunately.
That's it. They're sort of sporadic, these episodes. When we can progress our journey, that's when we drop them. So we've still got a couple that we're working on, but they take back seats from time to time. But WARSURGE, we've had our eye on for ages, and just so keen that we couldn't not talk about what we've been doing with it. So before we get stuck into it, we have a special offer for everyone listening. Ooh. Until the end of July to the 1st of August, you can get 20% off anything at Miniature Scenery by using the code HobbyHomies20 at checkout. Doing that not only helps us, but it also helps Tim there with his, he's feeling the crunch like everybody is. So upgrade your paint racks, buy some sick terrain, all MDF. It's brilliant. When
you told me, hey man, been talking to Miniature Scenery again, because you've liaised with him a fair bit. We've actually met him in person. We met him at RatCon. He's made some cool stuff for us, and he's just a top bloke.
He is. He really is. He made those range finders that a lot of you guys are getting in your Hobby resupply packs. He made them for us without us even asking him. And then, once I said, these are sick, like, let's get more, he started producing them for us too, which is awesome. So, check out miniaturescenery.com for all your hobby needs. Yeah,
and after you mentioned this being a possibility, I actually went on the website. I was like, I remember him having more than just paint racks. I remember him having, like, terrain, all kinds of stuff. There's this adorable little, I don't know what to call it, hobby space, effectively. A little
workstation.
Little workstation, that's right. That's exactly what it is. And I was like, man, that's so sick for the people that have such limited space. My first thought was Dave, who normally paints on his ottoman at home in the living room. I was like, this is the perfect thing for that, so I better hit up Dave. But the table that you and I played our last 40K game on...
That's all his stuff, dude.
That's all his stuff. I'm looking at the actual kit. It's like $275 for an entire table's worth of terrain.
Yep.
As someone who's selling like a third of a table's worth of terrain for like $250 with 3D printing stuff, I'm like, wow, this is just way better value. So don't buy my stuff. Go on miniaturescenery.com.
Yep.
And 20% off. Amazing.
Yep. Use the code HobbyHomies20. Only lasts for a week. So this episode's on Sunday. You've got till next Sunday. So jump on there.
Hell yeah. That's awesome, man.
Yeah. So WARSURGE.
WARSURGE.
Oh man, I've got so many questions for you. I want to know what lists you built. I want to know, what your favorite rules were, what some things you're interested in the game. But
I want to answer all of those, but I'm just so excited to be talking about something that's not 40K for a change. Only because leading up to the GTO, and even a little bit post GTO, reflecting on it and whatnot, it's kind of been all we've been doing for more than maybe 2 months. Basically,
Yeah, 40k not only has consumed us, but it's also consumed our soul, I think.
I think that is a more than fair statement. I'm definitely not 40k'd out, but I am excited to just like turn my head the other way and look at some other things. And WARSURGE being at the top of that list, I was wondering if you, Shane, could give me a summation of what WARSURGE is. Actually, not so much me. I kind of know. But maybe the listeners that haven't been able to listen to episode our first one, how would you describe WARSURGE to them?
Okay, so WARSURGE sums everything up in its catchphrase, its title, right? Use anything, fight everything. You can take models from any system and pit them against anything else. Like you could match up some French Revolution soldiers and play them against some stormtroopers if you really wanted to. You could take hobbits and pit them against like native African tribesmen or something like that. Like you can, whatever miniatures you've got, you can make your own rules for them using a granular system and have epic battles.
Yeah, I was looking at my my big Zoids the other day when I was writing lists, and I was like, what kind of stuff, if I were to make two lists to fight each other, like if I wanted to play by myself at home, what should fight the Zoids? And I was like, I mean, literally anything. Like I can make it within these rules that my Skaven could, I would make a scenario where it makes sense that they're fighting this giant Zoid or whatever. But then I looked on top of my shelf and I've got two like Storm Talon gunships or whatever they're called.
Nice.
Whatever they're called. Yeah, the interceptors, Storm Talon interceptor, whatever. And I was like, oh, well, that'd be perfect because then there's these two flyers versus this giant Zoid. That makes sense too.
Yeah.
But it's just so cool because I look around and I'm like, you could close your eyes, put all your armies, factions, models on a spinning wheel and just pick two and pin them against each other in a balanced way because it does it all through its app and the way it handles its lists and builds these lists.
Yeah. So that, like Fox said, the app is the way to get into it. There's a free version now, which I think is insane. You can jump on there. I actually downloaded the free version on my old tablet, which was so flat I didn't think it was going to charge, but it did. And it's sick. Like it's got so far there's only one thing I've found which it doesn't have compared to the free version, which is a journal where you can record all your battles. You can put everything like your opponent, your army's points, the mission, all that sort of stuff, and you can write even little notes about it. Everything else.
That's a new thing too. Last time we talked about it, the app was still only $20, which we thought was crazy cheap because the game doesn't have models, right? The rules itself are free or they come within the app. So it requires you to spend no money on models, just use your existing ones. Yep. It certainly opens it up for you to go out and buy cool models that don't belong to systems. They're just cool 3D sculpts people have made. You're like, I want those, but if you're like me, you're like, I want those, but if I can't use them in a game, I'm not going to get them. No. Well, now you can use them in WARSURGE, so suddenly your eyes and wallet are opened. But it's not like WARSURGE makes money from that. So I was like, $20 for an app that does what this app does is amazing. And now they got a free one, which basically has all the same stuff as the $20 one, bar that journal.
Like I'm sure there's maybe a couple of things which aren't in the free one, but I haven't found them yet. And I've been playing with this thing for like over an hour, making lists and everything.
Awesome. That's great.
Yeah. But you can also subscribe. You don't have to buy the app outright now. You can do a subscription, which I think is $1.50 per month. Which again is just insane. What's that, like 20? It's less than $20 for a year. So if you're unsure about it, subscribe for a couple of months, and then if you dig it, then pick it up. $20. Like what's $20 nowadays? A quarter of a codex or a fifth of a box of models.
It's 4 craft beers if you get them on special.
On special. Yeah.
Yeah, man. And especially like this is made by a handful of local boys to us. So if you can support them in any way, that's amazing. Like the amount of work they've done, insane. I don't know how long they've been working on this, but I did notice in a video that they had. This is just this could be completely false, but in a video they have on how to use the journal, I noticed in their journal there was like something that dates back to 2008. And I was like, man, if y'all been working on this game for that long, you deserve more than $20 for your app.
Oh man, you know? It could be. This could be something they've been working on for 10 years. Like, you just don't know. Because some of these things don't just pop up overnight, and they're normally a little love project that someone will just be working on, tinkering, and then maybe decide to pull the trigger. So yeah, who knows, man.
One day we will, because we hope to catch up with these lads at some stage and have a chat, have a yarn to them. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But yeah, so it's basically a app that allows you to, like Shane said at the start, play anything against anything. So having said that, we're going to talk about the way we built our lists and kind of some of the stuff you can do with your lists, which are incredible. But if you haven't listened to our first episode on the journey into, go back, have a listen to that, because that's just us talking about all the things we love about it and why we think this is just an insanely good thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
But so do you want me to hit my list first, Shane? Or do you want to...
Yeah, dude. Man, we've been talking a bit about our lists, and I know one list you've made, but I'm so keen to hear everything. So just...
Sure.
Pick one and just slap me with it, dude.
All right, prepare to get slapped with my giant list, dude. So the first roster, well, it's actually, it's just like average, to be honest. It's an average list. What's the average size? 500 points. Mine's 506, so I guess you'd call that slightly above average.
I think average is about 5.5, but
yeah. No, I'm pretty sure it's 500 points. Wait.
Okay. What?
All right. You know what I love? It has some example lists in there, which I actually found super useful because I was making a list before I'd even played the game. So I kind of just wanted to get an idea of like, well, what kind of strength do you expect tanks would be? So there's like sci-fi tank list and so that was actually, and a fantasy army when I was using my samurai and trying to figure out like, well, what's the sword look like? I mean, it could be whatever I want, but I just use those to get an idea of what the creators thought, you know?
Yeah, yep.
So having said that, I've made 3 lists, but the one I'm most excited about is my Kroot list, which I built earlier today, actually.
Oh, nice.
For a silly amount of time. So my gripe on Kroot, which is a Warhammer 40k army of avian-like bird people, effectively, but they're quite tribal. They live in the forests. They've got, what would you call their style of weaponry? Primitive? They're very primitive. Yeah. They consist of the main bipedal. Is that what you call people walking on two feet?
It is.
2 legs. Bipedal. Their main bipedal species, but they also have like little dogs and big old ape-looking things and a myriad of other stuff. Yeah. My main gripe is the world they exist in 40k. You can't use them as their own army. You can only sort of take them as an ally, and they don't feel very thematic even within that game. They're kind of just. Yeah, they don't really have anything that says, okay, yeah, that's cool. That's what Kroot do, you know? Their rules in 40k is kind of just like, yeah, it feels like they just sort of went, have some rules, Kroot, just so you can be put on the tabletop, but we don't really care. We don't really care about you. So this app allowed me to make Kroot exactly how I feel like they should look. But I actually made a full codex of them before I even put my list together. So what's really cool is you can first create a unit, for example. So I've created the Kroot Carnivore. And you can say, I want it to have the option to take the following weapons. Kroot Rifle Melee, which I've put in. Kroot Rifle Ranged. I've given them a Kroot Pistol. I've given them a Trapping Net. And a bunch of other equipment here. I've got... I've spelt frag wrong, or maybe I was frack. I said frack grenade. Is that a thing? I don't even know what I said. Yeah. Anyways, I've got a heap of different equipment, and so when I make my list, I can actually choose whether or not I want to take these things. You know, I might say I want 2 of these, 2 of my models in my 10-man unit to have these nets or whatever.
Yeah.
So I've made it codex-like. which is cool. So to give everyone an idea, we made lists of 500 points roughly. Is that what you did as well?
That's right. Yeah, mine came out at 505.54. I just couldn't quite crack that 500.
Well, mine was 505.88, so I think we're pretty balanced. Yeah.
Nice. You got the advantage though, so...
yeah, so I'll probably win.
Yeah.
That extra point, whatever it was, that'll be the edge. Yeah. So yeah, to give you all an idea, I made my crew set like a group of 10 of them is about 80 points. So that's a hefty chunk of my army for 10 dudes. So they're not washovers in my head in this system. They're quite strong. Although
so you've made 10 crew models.
Yeah.
A total of 80 points, including weapons.
Including weapons, yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
So
carry on.
Yeah, they're not. I mean, they're not super strong. It's just they've got a lot of. So they've got not many shots with their guns, and their guns aren't very strong, and their AP is quite crap. But when they do hit you, they have critical hit and weaken. Weaken's a very cool ability that I don't actually know how to look at right now. Perks, weaken. And they've also got piercing hit as well. So it's like when their stuff does hit you, it kind of hurts.
Yeah, we probably should. Each model can have different perks and abilities. Weapons can have perks and ability as well. There's things like bleed, which just causes like a damage over time thing. When they move, I believe they suffer damage. And there's burn and corrode, and there's oh man, there's just hundreds of like different things. Like you're scrolling through looking for one particular thing, and there's so many to choose from. So
it's insane.
Yeah, it's great.
And like you mentioned, it's quite granular. So you first build your actual unit, which might be, in my case, Kroot carnivores, and then you assign them stats with, so you haven't even talked about weapons yet. You're just talking about the actual model itself. How good is it at shooting? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
How much health does it have? What is it? Armor saves. And then you can give the individual models or units perks themselves, right? Yeah. Perks and traits and things like that. And even lore. There's even a little lore section so you can write your own lore, which is awesome.
Yeah, the reason for that, I believe, is because you can create these lists and share them with people online using a QR code system, which I know a lot of us in Victoria are now familiar with. I'm sure everywhere else as well.
Oh, yeah.
You can scan these codes that you can find online, or you can even you can produce the code on your screen, and then your friend can scan it from your phone. It's just technology, right?
I know, man. It's the future. It's absolutely the future.
You are in the future.
You rock up and you'd be like, hey, man, I'm playing this list. And you're just holding a QR code to your mate. And he's like, all right, cool. He scans it. And then your list comes up on his phone. And then we're both teleported to the battlefield. It's amazing.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, yeah, you create your unit models. It could be one. It could be whatever. You give that model perks. And then you can assign it a full arsenal of things that they don't have to take them. But you can sort of like load them into their profile. So you can give them like maybe 4 or 5 different melee options. Yeah. And a few different guns and like special equipment. And then all the individual equipment itself has its own perks and stats and stuff that you build. It's just insane.
It really is, yeah.
For example, let me just give a quick rundown. There's like under weapon perks, there's 6 different categories: affliction, enhancement, limitations, mode, offensive, tactical, and each one of those has got to have, what do you think, 20 plus different things? Oh man, some probably have more than 20. Some have, everything's got at least 10. But some have well above 20. Like you're scrolling for days. It feels like there's just that many to choose from. And it really lets you nuance your individual unit. So for example, I want Kroot to be these stealthy hunters that use traps and camouflage and camping. And yeah, their stuff isn't good, but they use they use tactics to beat you. Yeah. And so I started putting in all these stats that I thought made them feel like that, but their points got up really high. And I was like, it's still not worth it at the end of the day. It can get shot and removed in a turn.
Yeah.
You know, so you can put limitations on, which are basically handicaps for your models, but allow the points then to come down. So it's basically a way of negative points. And there's some great ones where it's like aim, for example, where you have to, if you pick aim 4+, it means you basically roll before you shoot your guns, and each roll of 4+ is then what you can roll to shoot your guns. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you can pick if they're bad at aiming, and that gives you a handicap.
I didn't even look into that. I saw aim, but like there's just so many to choose from, you know. So the handicap thing is really interesting. Yeah, like you said, it makes it good to have, like, you can have powerful models, but the chance of getting to use that ability, I guess, is harder.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah.
Yeah. I was about to, but I was running out of time and I didn't really want to mess with my points too much. I wanted to put malfunction on their guns because I thought they're quite primitive. They're mostly wooden. And malfunction is if half or more of the weapon's attack dice result in a 1, or if at least 5 1s are rolled in a single attack sequence, the weapon cannot be used the next game turn.
Wow. So that's big.
It's basically like a jam, you know?
Yeah. Yep.
And there's a heap of them. There's probably at least 30 of the handicap limitations. Sorry.
Yeah.
So it's great. You could do what I do and first build all the stuff in that you think your guys should have. Look at the points and think if that's lines up with how you feel they should be costed, and if it's too high, bring them back down with some of the limitations. It's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my list ended up in total having 30 Kroot carnivores with a mix of different war gear and stuff. They've got rules that allow them to deploy like a pre-game move almost, which they do have in 40k too. So it's like they can kind of move before the first movement turn. They're very quick, and they get extra bonuses for being in cover. They're very hard to hit if they get in cover. Outside of it, they're made of paper. And basically, you just don't want them dug into like a forest or whatever, taking pot shots at you, because they can slowly, like, most of their shots will bounce off you with the rules I have, but when they do hit, they'll hurt. They'll be getting crits. They'll be crippling you, things like that. I also had Kroot Hounds, which came up hectic expensive in terms of, like, I mean, Kroot Hounds are usually chaff, but these are 50 points for 2 of them.
Wow.
And I was like, what have I done here?
What have I created?
What have I made?
Yeah.
And these things move 10 inches, but they have a dash of 8 inches, so they're just so fast. They've got crap saves, armor and Aegis, which is invul, of 6.
You can't just write it off as an invul save. Aegis is brilliant. Like,
tell me about Aegis.
Narratively, right? Aegis is an acronym. It stands for Avoid, Endure, Gear, Insight, and Sorcery. It's a narrative way to explain an invul save without just being, it's just an invul save.
Oh, yeah. Okay, all right. Which is great
because we can't keep comparing this to 40k because like any war game you can compare to 40k, but there's so much more to this that isn't in 40k.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. You couldn't be more right. It's probably a bad example. I use 40k units because then I'm constantly referencing what their other rules would be. But, you know, I've never played a game of Kroot in 40k. I will play tons of games of Kroot in this because I'm custom making them to what I feel like they should be. And if I feel like my Kroot Hounds should be 50 points for 2 of them because they're super fast. And when they chomp, they got like... They do 3 attacks each, so 2 of them are doing 6. But they've got attack D3, so they're adding more attacks every time. And when they charge you, they get more power to their attacks. They've got bleed, cripple, weaken. They're basically, if you get bitten by one of these things, you're just like cooked. Yeah, you'll kill them back, but weaken or cripple, I forget which one it is, like halves your movement and everything. Like you're just not getting away. So these things run at you, bite you, and then the Kroot carnivores will just pepper you with shots and finish you off from within the bushes.
Yeah, yeah, which is what you'd expect from like a beast. Like, you know, it charge you, and it's gonna go for the legs and take you down. So yeah. The ability to like to add those perks and abilities to like create a narrative model, how you think this model should be played. I went and I stayed well away from any 40k models to make my list because I didn't want that like comparison to be in my head all the time. So yeah, but
yeah, that's a good call. Yeah. What I think it did for me actually is, you know, I'm a massive Kroot lover, and using these models made me so excited for this system and what it can do for other people who are in the same boat where maybe they have things that don't represent the way they envision these models should.
Yeah.
So, and I've been able to do it, and it's been so fun, and I'm just looking forward to building an entire codex for Kroot. And then I was just like, oh wait, and if I do it well and people enjoy it, I can put the QR code online, and anyone else who wants to use Kroot or any models that uses this kind of rules totally can. So
absolutely, yeah.
I'll be looking forward to making my own little Kroot codex with these bad boys.
Yeah, do it, dude.
And finally, to finish off my list, I have a Krutox Rider, which is 90 points for one of them. And he's just a big beast. What's really cool is I gave him the transport rule because he does have someone mounted on his back.
Yeah.
And so he's got fire points as well. And I just played around with that a little bit.
So you basically built him as a vehicle.
Yeah, he's effectively a vehicle. If he doesn't have a person assigned to him, he can't use his mounted gun or equipment, which makes sense because there has to be someone shooting that gun, you know? Because it's a big ape basically with a gun strapped to its back and dude standing on his back shooting it. So
yeah, and but you see, transport is great. Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
Transport is a really great rule or a stat because it allows you can have just a regular dude with a transport of 1, which means he can effectively carry a wounded model. You know, he could. You know, he could pick up one of his guys that have been chomped on the legs and can't move, and then they both can move together to cover or to whatever. So it adds so much there narratively as well. Like, I know I keep harping on about narrative, but it's one thing that's so difficult to do in a granular point sort of competitive game without it being extremely one-sided. You know? Yeah.
Yep. You're absolutely right. It's and the rule I gave him was Crew 1, it's called. So yeah, like you said, they can pick up and carry wounded models, and even if no one's embarked, what's great is this thing can still move, which I thought was exactly what should happen. It's still an ape; it can still move around or whatever. But yeah, it just needs someone on its back to tell it what to do and to shoot the actual gun. So this thing has a ton of different rules. I won't go through them all. I gave him like 12.
Yeah, wow.
But basically, he is. That you don't want to get hit by the gun, basically.
No,
it's just this,
that's fair.
It's like this one-shot thing that's almost... It basically hits on 2s.
Yeah.
It has a high chance of critting. If it gets into combat, it's also a beast. So I just made it exactly how I want. And then I was like, oh, wait, I don't have a leader. So I made a Kroot Tracker, which is a War Master who can give orders, which is insane. Didn't know that was a thing. But it's got like a list of orders you can assign to your other models. It's got camouflage, cover. It's all about... It can just basically deploy on the map anywhere more than 12 inches away from the enemy deployment zone. Set traps, that's its main weapon. Can plop down traps. It can join onto units, or it can just pass off wounds onto units that are close to it. So it's this little hard-to-hit, annoying tracker that's like giving people orders and putting down traps. And I thought that was just a really cool way to have a leader, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So all of that's 500 points. It's like 30 Kroot Carnivores, 4 Hounds, 1 Krutox, and 1 Tracker. It's a small force. And the first thing I thought was, oh, thank fuck. I only have to paint like 35 models. So I was super hyped about that.
Well, you know, it eventually was going to get there. You turn this into a Kroot episode.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
But my list contains 10 models
Wow.
for 500 points. And I thought I was like going easy on them, you know?
Yeah.
I didn't give them
cool.
really anything that I thought was overly powerful.
I'm interested now. I'm very interested.
Yeah, well, basically, I got some models printed up from our homie Lethal of these hazmat dudes.
Mm-hmm.
So 10 models. I haven't designated any leaders or anything like that. They're just a squad of 10 that act individually.
Cool. So you got yourself a little kill team.
Pretty much, yeah. A movement of 6, a dash of 6, defense of 4, basic armor, basic Aegis save, and then 2 of them have sniper rifles, 8 of them have AK-47s, and they're all armed with pistols, with a pistol and a combat knife. So
now, when you say basic armor and Aegis saves, what have you got there?
5+.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet. And how much health for each unit?
3.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. There you go.
Yeah. So I imagine you probably gave your carnivores, 1 wound each or 2 wounds each?
Absolutely, 1 wound each, yeah. So
yeah,
your 10 dudes have 30 wounds, my 30.
So I've got 30 dudes effectively to you. Yeah. So
that's cool.
Again, with the abilities and the perks, like I was looking through everything. I went really basic and I just gave the knife the bleed, a perk, and also the sniper rifle to bleed, and focus. So we're not going to go and explain everything in each one of these, but
there's too many. There's too many rules.
There really is. Check out the free app. At the moment, it's only on Android. They are working on the iOS app.
Yeah.
But so you can get it. Yeah. Otherwise, you can get the lifetime one or the subscription one. Sorry, the lifetime one is the one-off payment of $20 or
okay.
Is it $27? I think off the top of my head.
Yeah.
That is currently on both Android and iOS. They're also working on other platforms, which left me thinking, well, what could it be? There's only those 2, right? But I guess maybe PC.
Yeah.
It'd be sick to have it on Windows. Also a Switch.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I don't know. I'm just making up shit now.
It's probably PC, but yeah. I mean, Switch would be. Yeah, I mean that'd be fine. Sure. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so I just went with 10 guys, man. I got these models 3D printed from Lethal. I've been so keen for them.
Yeah.
Just to paint them, you know. But there's even a better reason now is for WARSURGE.
I'm on the Goblins Forge now, looking at them. They look sick, dude. Like little guys with AKs.
Oh yeah, they're cool, man. They're very cool.
Well, I love their little suits.
Yeah, they're all wearing hazmat suits.
They're bloody adorable.
I started mucking around with the free app, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna try and make another list. I didn't get quite the way through it, but I'm like, what can I do? I'm like, I don't want any 40k stuff. I don't want any Age of Sigmar stuff. Nothing like that I've already got. And I'm walking through the hallway, and my fiance has got a rack, like a shelf of paints, like the pop vinyls, right?
Oh yeah,
of everything, like mostly Disney stuff.
Sure.
And I'm like, I'm gonna make an army of pops.
Oh god, Disney pops.
Disney pops, yeah, dude. I'm like, what special abilities can I give to like Cinderella?
Oh no.
So far, I've only done Mushu, which is a little dragon from Mulan.
Awesome. Okay.
She had to tell me which one each was because I had no idea. Besides like Toy Story, my Disney knowledge is very limited.
Yeah.
And
dude.
yeah, I'm just looking at these Disney pops, and I'm like, how can I make them fucking brutal in combat?
We'll have to have a pop off soon.
Yeah, we can definitely have a pop off, dude.
Dude, I love that. That'd be dope. That's so fun. Such a fun idea too.
Yeah.
I buy a lot of stuff from like a lot of you would call it Gunpla, like Gundam kit style things, but for universes that don't really exist. So like I mean there's Zoids, that's obviously an established one, but there's another one called Hexagear, which kind of is just kind of like a rip-off of Zoids in a sense. But I mean, it's got some cool, unique stuff in its own, and I love the models, and I've always been like, man, I want to design a tabletop game for these, and now I'm so relieved I don't have to build an entire game. They've already built a game for WARSURGE. By the way, it's a game as well. It's not just a list building.
Oh yeah,
thing,
there is a game to it.
And the game is sweet. It's got simple, advanced rules. It's got missions. It's the game itself is more deep than we'll give it justice on this episode because we haven't repped out any games of it yet.
No. But I've been looking through the rules, and there's a few things which I'm really keen on. Some things are quite interesting, so I'm not sure how they will play. But yeah.
I was watching a couple battle reports, and the first thing I liked was that they had a little simple 3-player game that looks to go pretty well. So there's that fun beer and pretzels element to it. Like, there's a simple version of the game with simple rules, and you can just bring whatever you want. Or you can have... If you've got a homie that just loves list building, it's their favorite part of the hobby, like me.
Yeah.
and you're just like, dude, I've got these models... and I just want to play WARSURGE with them. You know, they'll make you. I would do it. So if you and Churchy were like, hey man, we got these models. Make us lists. Make us a story. Make us a campaign. I'll get back to you in an hour and I'll be like, here's a QR code, dude. Put it on your phone. Have a look through it. That's your list.
Yeah.
We'll play this weekend. You know. So
hell yeah.
That's such a cool element. I mean, we probably won't do that with your pop vinyls, but who knows? Who knows what other cool stuff we can find.
No. I'll make that list.
Okay, all right, you do
We're
it.
playing that game.
You bring your pop vinyls. Another list I did was my Test of Honor one, which I was having so much fun with, but I was probably doing it too granular. I was basically going, all right, here's a human. He could be an Ashigaru or a samurai. He can bring one of these 19 different weapons.
Yeah,
He can take this different type of armor, and I kind of burned myself out doing it that way. So I think I'll be a little bit more structured. I'll be like, hey, this is a Ashigaru, lightly armored foot soldier. He could take one of 3 weapons. But I just love that you can go down that route and design an entire rule set for a thing. And just once you do it once, you know, you pop it in next time and be like, all right, this time I'm going to bring 2 samurai, one with a spear, one with 2 katanas. So I'll just go into my thing that's already done and just equip them with those things. So
yeah.
I do love that.
And the beauty with this app as well is it saves everything you create. So it saves, like, there's a forge, and you can title one group as Test of Honor. So in that forge, you save all your Test of Honor weapons, you know, and then you can save another one as something else, like Disney powers, and then in there you can have like all the Frozen stuff if you really wanted to.
You've gone on a Disney binge, man. I don't know if that's better or worse than my 40k ranting. Yeah, you're right. You've got factions and armories are sort of the two fields. So within factions, there's my Zoid. I was looking for my Zoids before, but I don't have any armories for them yet. Yes, I do. No, it's all here. You're right. It saves it. There you go. Yeah. So within your factions, you can name them. I've got Hexagear / Zoids. I've got Kroot. I've got Ratus, which is just all things rat.
Of course.
I've got Space. I think I was trying to make a little space game.
Oh yeah.
Like using I was printing ships for 1 billion suns, but I was like, well, once we learn WARSURGE once, you know, you learn the rules, and suddenly you can play all these different feeling games with the same system. So I was like, well, I'll just build a space game for that. Then I only have to learn one rule set.
Absolutely.
I've got Test of Honor, and I've got Legion, which I think is my Star Wars Legion. Yeah, Rebels, it says here. Yep.
Yeah.
So already I've dabbled in 6 lists I didn't even know.
Yeah. You are a list builder at heart, dude, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I'm proud, though.
Thanks, man. I'll just keep building lists, and if you could learn the rules, that'd be sweet.
Sounds like a deal.
Yep. I don't know if anyone will understand this reference, but to me, as a list builder, this game feels like RPG Maker, which was a game online, not online, sorry, a game you could download on a computer where you could build your own RPGs in that sort of Pokemon Stardew Valley style.
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, hell yeah. Me and my brother started making one. I made a banjo that was like so powerful.
Yeah, and that's it. You dragged your sprites across like your houses, and you made your own little towns, and you activated switches. So it was like, if you talk to this person and choose this option, then this person walks in, and you're effectively building your own game. But it was had this element where most people played it because the fun of building the game was the game. You were never gonna make something out of this that other people would play usually.
Nah.
Man,
I spent like 4 hours on it and created like 3 minutes of gameplay.
Yeah.
Was not impressed.
No. And what's so fun about it though is when you're making this game, you're making it exactly what you would want in a game.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel like the fun part of WARSURGE is for me, is like, I'm making this game exactly how I want it. When we play, these crew are going to function. The law, the universe is going to be exactly how I want it.
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude.
And you mentioned lore and thematic and narrative so many times. Can you imagine like your hazmat suits rocking up to this planet that's obviously been for thousands or millions of years been exposed to radioactivity, and it's spawned these weird avian creatures that just attack them as soon as they get to this planet, and you've just got to unload your AKs into my crew and get out the other side.
I like how they've got AKs though, but they still have the ability to travel to like another planet.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, what's going on? Is this like 1952 or something, or what?
Yeah, mate, you're gonna have to fill the blanks in on that lore.
Yeah.
Why are your guys space-time traveling?
That's a wormhole. It's a wormhole, dude. That's right. They were on their way to the moon.
Yeah, that's right. It's the It's the Norway landing. Space. The Norway space is. They didn't quite make it.
No.
Got sucked into a tiny wormhole on the way.
That's it, dude.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be. I can't wait to play it. It's amazing. I'm having so much fun building lists and sort of unlocking potential of models that I got sitting here that don't have games. Like these little goblins I got from the Goblins Forge, ironically.
Oh yeah, and like you can even use miniatures from board games and stuff. Like if you still, I don't know if you still have Gloomhaven or not, but you could use the miniatures from that, like easy.
I don't.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
I don't. So
that's true.
Yeah, it's good. But yeah, and you know what? You can mix and match. Like it doesn't just have to be all Star Wars Legion, right? So like I can have some of my rebels, some of my crew, and some of my goblins together, and if to me it makes sense or there's a lore reason for it, it's an alien planet where there's just all these different life forms, then heck yeah, there you go.
Absolutely. Yep.
So I'm excited. I don't know. I think I'm as excited to play it as I am to just build another 200 lists. But I think I really want to get some big models on the table, like Zoids and stuff, and just see how your hazmat suits go against them,
Oh yeah, man, that would be insane. That's gonna be our first game, I reckon. Something like that.
For sure. I've got one particular model coming over from Japan, and it can't get here soon enough. Cannot get here soon enough. It's just gonna be dope. It's 410 points on its own, so I don't know how I'm gonna fill out the rest of the 90. Maybe with a couple little like mechanics or something that just sort of like follow it around or whatever. Yeah,
something like that. You could use like a couple of your like Skitari or something like that. They look like they would be working on a Zoid.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or I think I got some
dude.
Star Wars droids or something. We'll find something.
Even some of your rebels would fit that perfectly.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Amazing.
But yeah, like this is sick. Like as far as our second step on our journey into WARSURGE goes, I wish we could have played a game, but this is the next best thing, I suppose.
I think there's so much in the list building aspect of it that it warrants talking about and getting people excited about. The kind of stuff you can do. And something I just want to quickly mention is like the way they've done the points is insane. It's so like, for example, I have this thing called crit, and anytime I roll a 6, it does double damage. This is just on one of my guns or whatever. It costs 2 points on that gun. Those points go up if I increase the attacks, obviously. So if I said this gun had 2 attacks, it would be 4 points to add critical hit to that gun. If I was playing around, I was trying to get it to be wrong or find a way that's like broken. Yeah. So I was like, well, what if I put this thing that gives me D3 extra attacks? So the attacks are random, were they smart? Like, how did they cost that up for critical hit? And so I put that on, and it tripled. So instead of being 2 points, it became 6. So I was like, all right, so they've taken the average of a D3, which is kind of 2.
Yeah.
And added the 2 to the base 1. And I was like, oh, so that's what they've done. They've taken the average of the rule so that if I roll a 1 on my D3, I've lost value on the crit. But if I roll a 3, I get value from the crit, if that makes sense. So
yeah.
They've thought, as far as I can tell, I was trying so many different ways to abuse the rules. And they've done, it's so thorough. It's so clean and balanced. I was so impressed, man. Oh, it was nuts.
That's awesome. That is so awesome. That's attention to detail there, which like you just don't get. Like, yeah, love it.
And to be honest, I kind of assumed like a 2-person. I'm sure there's more than the 2 people we know on the team, and I'm sure we don't know how long they've been working on it. But I just assumed there would be little holes because of the scale and the amount of rules they have.
Yeah.
So I was trying to find rules that interact poorly with each other or whatever, and it was just I was blown away, man. They've done so well.
Oh man, it's stunning. I love it. It's everything that I've been looking for ages in a game. You know, the narrative side of things, being able to just completely build it how you want to build it, not how you're sort of told to play it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yep. And the cool dynamic when 2 people get to bring their own vision for an army. Like, you've got your story of your hazmat guys, and that's going to come against the story of mine. And we just know it doesn't really matter if I put 1 giant behemoth on the table or if I put 100, the points are the same, you know?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So, love it too.
That's it.
You got to do us up a campaign, and I'm just going to bring a bunch of different stuff, and you can just see how your hazmat dudes go on this adventure of chaos.
Yeah, let's do it, dude.
Hell yeah.
I think with some battle reports there would be sick.
Oh, yeah. Well, the good news is we could just pick what painted models we have and what painted terrain we have and throw it on the table and build a couple lists. Love that too.
Looks good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, that's it's basically a quick wrap-up of what we've been looking at in WARSURGE. Don't forget, the app is free with an Android device. Currently on the way for the iOS. So, I keep a look on their Facebook page. They'll announce all the changes, and if we see anything too, we'll share it as well. So check it out. Just some local dudes making an awesome game. So Richard and Nick, thank you for this labor of love, which you've clearly been working on for a long time.
Yeah, and you know, you're a new game, right? I think I was on their YouTube and I was like, people jump on the YouTube, like it's criminally undersubbed. And I was like, it's crazy to me that a game this good and a system this good isn't more well known. So keep up the good work, guys. We see you. This game is nuts. You've got something here. Keep cracking. And we froth it. We absolutely froth it.
Yeah.
But jump on their Facey, jump on their YouTube, go follow all their stuff, get all the updates straight from the horse's mouth. But like Shane said, we'll certainly keep you updated as well because we're loving it.
Hell yeah. And you know where to find all our stuff. We've got links on hobbyhomies.com for everything. We've got some new merch, which Fox has been working on.
Yep, I've been hand sewing the new merch. Got out the old, what's that sewing machine? I forgot what it's called for a second there.
The sewing machine.
Yeah. We got a clean new asphalt Marl tee with just like a little clean Beers and Banter logo. It's elegant as it is sexy. So jump on there. We've got some exciting stuff in the pipeline. We're officially now a registered business. Hobby Homies is an enterprise. We're a trademarked name. We've had tons of stuff in the works, things that we've been wanting to hit. We've been constantly delayed. Things were bigger than we thought they would be to begin originally. So this has really opened the door for a lot of stuff that we want to do. We're not going anywhere. We got big plans, and we just are continuously looking to ramp things up. But it's never going to be at the cost of quality, we'd like to think anyways.
Absolutely. So,
whilst we could have done battle reports 6 months ago, we've got a standard that we want to deliver, and that goes for a lot of different things that we want to bring. So we're moving towards getting things to that standard before we release them. instead of
Yeah.
building up to that, you know?
Yeah, and we're not going anywhere. We're whether you like it or not, we're sticking around.
Yeah, sorry,
surely
friends.
if you've made it this far, you one of the ones that like it. So sorry, but we've got plenty more stuff coming, which we are so excited for. Oh man, I can't wait. So check out the hobbyhomies.com for all of our stuff. Also check out our homies at the Goblins Forge board games for the board. If you need hobby supplies during lockdown, Guff or Throw the Dice can hook you up. Just shoot them a message. They've got online capabilities. They'll post it right to you. So if you're running out of that favorite red, you can get it. You can still get it. Don't worry.
Yeah, Mephiston's still, whatever red it is still there.
Exactly.
And both those stores, Guff and Throw the Dice, hit them up on Facebook if you're looking for stuff, because they're both stockists for a lot of different systems and can get stuff in for you. So
yeah.
Hit them up, support the locals. That'd be amazing.
Hell yeah. Wolfie, Jim, the guys at Guff in Werribee, and Tricky Dicky at Throw the Dice, they'll help with anything.
Yeah,
anything.
They're amazing. They're the kind of friendly local gaming store. What do you call it? I was going to say hosts. Owners? That you hope.
I guess they host us.
They do host us. Yeah, that's true. They are the hostess with the mostists.
That's it. And don't forget, 20% off at Miniature Scenery, Hobby Homies 20 at checkout. And that's it.
And so we want to thank you, anyone that's listening, that follows along with us. You guys have all helped us tremendously get to where we are, but also are a big catalyst in where we want to go. But we can't thank the Patreons enough either.
Absolutely not. They blown away by our patrons and having you guys support us from the get-go, and more homies joining us along this awesome journey. So massive shout out to Burnsy, Whack, Final, Foggy Highway, Joey P, Lockie, MJ, Lethal, Moose, Penny.
We got Alco, Arkham, Caitlin, Dave, Churchy, Rad, Oliver, Hockers, Tricky, Aggro, and our newest addition to the OG crew is Gridlock. Thank you, Gridlock.
Gridlock, yeah.
Giving you a round of applause.
Yeah, Gridlock got his shout out a couple episodes ago when he joined our main homie, but he's just stepped up into the big league and he is an OG now. So thank you so much, man. And checking out our streams and sending us beers. It's incredible. You've quickly won our way to our hearts. That's for sure.
That's it. You're in our top 200.
Yeah.
So and working your way up quick, my friend.
Real quick.
So thank you all again. You're amazing. You keep smiles on our face, beers in our fridge, and podcasts coming to you every Sunday. So thank you.
Hell yeah.
All right, Shane, I'm out of here. I'm sick of you.
I'm sick of you, dude. I never want to podcast again. No, I'm just kidding.
Wait, we do a biz banter after this? What do you mean?
Yeah.
All right. Toodles, man.
All right. Cheers, homies.